welcome to our first episode of Just Weird podcast, where we talk about everything paranormal. We talk about ghosts, UFOs, um, cryptozoology, everything. And I'm going to let Lisa tell us more about our first episode.
Okay, thanks, Lisa. Um, I'm Louisa, and for this episode, we decided to focus on ghostly hotels or haunted hotels.
Hmm.
And one of the first hotels we were going to talk about was the Cavalier Hotel in Virginia Beach. And we both had stayed there before at a paranormal conference in around 2010. And it was just a really great location to have a paranormal event. Wouldn't you say, Lisa?
Oh, yes, it was really creepy. It's kind of like what you would think the Shining hotel would look like.
Yeah, it definitely was very ornate, kind of old fashioned style. Hadn't been updated in years. Um, so, in looking at some of the history, we find out it was originally opened in 1927.
Hmm.
Um, and it says over the years, various paranormal experiences and ghostly encounters have been reported by guests, staff, and paranormal investigators. And when we were there, we didn't really have any, I guess, paranormal experiences. It was more just kind of a little bit weird sort of atmosphere. Would you say?
Yeah,
With
it
the
was creepy, especially around that pool. At the time they didn't have the pool filled with water, so
Oh
it
yeah,
was all dark. Remember, there was no lights on, and it was just
yeah.
really creepy around the pool.
And when we got there, it was in the evening, and it was, I think, really windy, and all the shutters kept banging, and it was
Oh yeah,
kind of like a big enclosed pool. It was very, very creepy indeed.
yeah, definitely. And then they still had some like furniture from patio furniture from way back out there on the
Yeah,
around the pool, and then there was some in the sunroom area. They had like this really long stretch of like sunroom. Um,
yeah,
that was actually really nice. I
yeah.
like
It was,
sun. Okay.
but it definitely had a kind of strange atmosphere, which was a good location for all the sort of speakers and everything. So because we had some really interesting sort of paranormal experts there, um, including the guy who became the haunted collector. Um,
Oh yeah,
let's see, he was speaking there, and then there was an exorcist person there, and just all
yeah,
kinds of interesting speakers.
yeah. They had that guy. What the haunted collector guy was named John
John
Zaffis.
Zaffis, I think. Yeah,
I'm probably saying his name wrong, but he ended up having that TV show called what is
yeah,
it, Haunted Collector or something.
haunted collector. Yeah, and he has his own museum up in, I guess, Connecticut, where he keeps all these haunted objects that people have given him to kind of keep the, I guess, contain the energy. And he keeps them safe there, I guess.
Yeah, didn't
Yeah.
he have the Annabelle doll up there? I think
Oh,
he
I can't
kind of.
remember. He had.
I
I don't
think
remember.
that psychic couple, the Warrens or whatever. I think they
Oh,
used to have that, and then I'm sure they passed away, but I think he does have the Annabelle doll in his collection.
we'll have to do a separate episode about him because he's pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
I would like to interview him.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think he's still alive. I don't
I think
know
so.
where the
And
Annabelle doll got him.
yeah, I know. Um, so I was trying to think when we were staying there, the only sort of weird experiences I had were, um, in the middle of the night, I went to switch the bathroom light on and it wouldn't switch on, which was weird because it worked fine earlier and then it worked the next day, but
Mhm.
it was just a little odd. And then I also heard like kind of a buzzing in my ears that woke me up, and I heard that a couple of times. But I mean, not really crazy stuff, but just a little odd. And
Yeah,
then
I thought that was weird too.
yeah, and then you had taken some pictures in the pool area, and there was, when we enlarged the pictures, there was kind of little orb things.
Yeah,
It was a little strange,
yeah, I thought so too. It was weird. And
but
then up in the hallways, the hallways were really creepy. I thought
yeah, it
they
really
just
did look
removed
like
the
The
the rug
Shining.
like
Yeah,
shining the stand. think the Shining Hotel's called the Stanley Hotel.
Oh
It's
yeah.
Stanley Steamer Company.
Oh,
Those
I
are the
didn't know that.
owners of that. Yeah, and then the Cavaliers owners it was the Coors beer family.
Oh yeah.
Was the guy Adolf Coors? He was, I believe, the head of
That's
it
right.
of that company, and he owned that hotel. And they said that he jumped. He committed suicide by jumping out of it was room
Oh,
606.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. Adolf Coors. In 1926.
Yeah, that was
Um,
sad. Oh.
yeah,
It was weird up there where you remember they said this is the floor that,
yeah. I think we went up in the elevator to the sixth floor, I believe.
oh
We
yeah,
kind of explored all that.
definitely. And they said they have the pool. The reason we might have thought the pool
Oh,
felt
what's that,
creepy.
Lisa?
Oh, the reason that the pool may have felt creepy was that they said that there was a ghost cat that has been seen around there, and also a little girl's ghost because
Yeah,
I, they said that a little girl was like chasing her cat, or something like that around the pool, or the cat was in the pool and she tried to get it out, and
yeah,
unfortunately they drowned. So
yeah. That's right.
people
And
have
then,
said that they've seen them there, which is really creepy.
yeah, and they said a female guest appears in the Becca restaurant
Mhm.
downstairs. So I'm not sure what
Yeah,
that's about, but
remember that was that restaurant that had like the dance floor out there in the middle. I think that was where the people were speaking. The
oh
guest
yeah,
speakers. It was that place. It was dark in there. I didn't.
yeah, it was pretty dark. Yeah,
Maybe they were trying to get
maybe they're
creepy.
keeping the atmosphere. Well, it was working.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, here I have my notes. It says, I wonder if that's they talk about the blue lady. She was
Yeah.
the spirit of a lady in a flowing blue gown, and said that she was a young woman who stayed in the hotel in the 1920s and lost her life by falling from the hotel's roof. So I wonder if
Oh,
that's the same one.
okay. Yeah, I wonder. It sounds like,
Uh, and they say that people have reported strange sounds, disembodied voices, flickering lights, and objects moving on their own.
oh.
So, yeah, I can definitely believe it because just from us when we stayed there, it definitely had a presence about it. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was. And it was like stepping back in time. Like
Yeah,
you were in it was really neat how this is before they renovated it. They've renovated into a really luxury hotel now. If you look on the
yeah.
website, it's like, oh wow. I think it's
It,
like 450 a night now. So it's
but it still looks, at least from the pictures, it looks very fancy, but it still got that kind of old fashioned, I guess,
yeah.
1920s look to it. So they've kept the feeling, I think.
Yeah, I'm glad they did that because that was
Yeah,
made it unique. And
but
then in the mornings, remember how foggy it was out there?
oh yeah, it was like the perfect weather for
Yeah,
that convention. It was so misty and just cloudy and windy and yeah, very perfect weather.
yeah, definitely. I wouldn't mind. I wish they'd have another conference up there because
I know.
it's the Virginia Beach Paranormal Conference. That's what it was called.
Oh, they did a really good job. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Well,
And
what was the next hotel we were gonna talk about, Lisa? Do you think?
let's see here. We were talking about
The-
the Balsam Inn, and it's also called the Grand Old Lady Hotel, I
Oh,
believe it's called. And it's in Jackson County, North Carolina. It's in a little town called Balsam, and
okay.
apparently they say it's really haunted. But unfortunately, it's closed now. The
Oh no.
owner, she sold the hotel, and whoever bought it, I guess, has not reopened it yet.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so, unless I'm wrong, but I tried to call them, and the phone's been disconnected. And I read an
Uh,
article back in, I think, 2019. They were talking
oh,
about selling it, so I'm assuming that's what happened. So
yeah, and maybe right before COVID too. Maybe that kind of.
yeah, I think COVID. They well, it said in the article that they couldn't find enough people to staff it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the problem. So yeah.
But do you think the haunted rumors? cause people not want to work there, or do you think it was just
Oh,
maybe
that
a
would be
small?
it may be, or it may be that people just
Maybe it's kind of
just
in a
didn't
small
work.
town.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very small town, so
Oh,
that could definitely be the problem.
yeah.
Um, let's see, it used to be well, they used to have a rail station, a train
Like a,
station, train
yeah.
depot, and I believe they moved the train depot building since
Oh,
then,
really?
but the hotel was like located right above the train depot, so people,
Okay.
would stay there and wait for the train and so forth.
Yeah. So one time it was probably pretty busy.
Yeah, definitely. Though I
Uh,
saw a video where the owner was talking, and she said that they just had lights going on and off and stuff like that. Let's see here. What
uh,
else? It didn't sound like that significant of a haunting, but
okay.
just because I didn't read all of
Yeah. We'll
the
have to.
accounts about it, I should have.
We could keep an eye on it, and then like if it reopens, we could always do a show about that.
Yeah, I
It's not.
wanted to interview the owner, but I tried to call and I tried to get on the website that they had listed, and apparently both of them are out of.
Oh,
So.
yeah. Well, I was gonna let's see. The two that I was looking at was the Grove Park Inn in Asheville. So I'll start with that one. The That's that really famous, huge hotel off the with the view of the mountains and everything. And it's
Oh,
now, yeah, it's now called the Omni Grove Park Inn. So apparently it was sold to Omni Hotels and Resorts around 2013, which I didn't realize that. Um,
hmm.
I've been there briefly for work in 2008, and it was. I mean, you might. I don't know if have you been in there before.
No, I've
It's
never. I've seen the outside of it, but I haven't.
Yeah, it's like um it's very lavish. Like inside the fireplaces are so huge. Like you can stand inside the fireplace. I mean, they're just massive, and it's sort of it's let's see. I was looking up some of the history, and it says it was built in the early 20th century in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina by pharmacist Edwin Wiley Grove and his friend and son-in-law Thomas Seeley. And it says that about 400 men worked on building um, this hotel. They lugged thousands of pounds of granite up the mountain using mules and wagons. So it's like all sort of like the outside is all rocks. It looks kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And then it opened in 1913, and it says guests have included George Gershwin, Harry Houdini, F. Scott Fitzgerald, and even President Obama. So it's pretty sort of a famous, sort of well known hotel, but it's also, they've always thought it was haunted. And one of the hauntings they say is the Pink Lady,
Hmm.
and says she's been felt, and experienced by hotel employees and guests for nearly a century. And they say she's described as like a sort of pinkish smoke, and sometimes the mist will materialize into the shape of a young woman in a pink ball gown. So they think that she it was a lady who fell 2 stories from the fifth floor to the third floor in the 1920s. But they don't have really any other information about her name or anything like that. Um, but it says she's been seen and experienced in a number of places, and she said to move objects in the middle of the night and even waken guests by tickling their feet.
That would be creepy.
So not too scary, really. So when I worked there, not there, but I was there for a work event, and I didn't really experience anything, but I was there during the day. So, but if you go there, it is very kind of atmospheric. So I can imagine it being haunted. And some people have even said since F. Scott Fitzgerald stayed there, they've said that, oh, maybe it's the ghost of Zelda, his wife who died. But I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah,
That might be a
kind of like
stretch.
she traveled around.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I'm seeing if there's.
Yeah, because she didn't die there, right? She didn't.
Yeah,
No, I don't.
wasn't it
Oh,
an it was a like didn't the building burn or something where she was staying?
Yeah, I think wasn't she in the insane asylum or something?
Yeah, and
I know she
did
had
it,
schizophrenia or something.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what-
But they
yeah.
said maybe whoever said maybe she had stayed there with F. Scott Fitzgerald and decided to return. But again, that's kind of a stretch. I don't know if I believe
Yeah,
that.
you never know.
But supposedly in 1996, somebody investigated all these sort of ghostly phenomena at the hotel. Joshua P. Warren of Asheville, who's an expert and author on local ghostly phenomena, and he talked to like nearly 50 people and looked in all the records, and he concluded that um, it is haunted was his explanation. But and mainly doesn't really say more than that, but mainly in guest room 545. So he thinks it's more than just rumors. He does think there's actually some substance to it. So
Yeah, you wonder why at certain rooms or
I
yeah,
know.
certain locations. I mean, unless there's something, maybe something tragic happened in that
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Um,
Whoever
you'll
this. Yeah. So did you want to talk about any hotels, Lisa? Or
let's see
see
that.
what we've got here?
Let's see. Yeah, I know we talked about the Stanley Hotel out in Colorado. That's the
Oh,
one that
yeah.
The Shining was filmed at.
So
That
it's actually a real hotel, you said?
yeah, yeah, they had a maid or something that she was in an explosion that
Oh
happened in the hotel. So
my gosh.
she gets she haunts the hotel, and then they've had dogs. There's like a golden retriever that they keep seeing.
Oh, okay.
It's also, and they said Stephen King had stayed in room 2017, and that's
Hmm.
where he got, the idea for writing The Shining because he stayed in that
Ah, okay.
hotel.
That's Do you know if it's is it still open today, like that hotel? Could people stay there?
Oh, I think so. I think so.
Oh.
And then, oh, and they do have a pet cemetery. We were talking about Stephen King,
Yeah.
so maybe
Yeah.
he got the ideas for both of those books
Oh,
by
man.
staying at that hotel.
Whew. I don't think I'd wanna stay there, though. That's a little too creepy for me.
Yeah, it seems like a really long drive out there. It's in a town called Estes Park,
Oh,
and they say
okay.
it's located 5 miles from the Rocky Mountain National Park.
Oh.
I think isn't that it's like a ski resort or something, but
Oh, might yeah, probably.
yeah, I guess if I was a skier, I would really like to go out there, but
It sounds
um,
pretty isolated. Ooh.
yeah. Oh, I was wrong about the room number. It was room
Uh,
217 that
oh, okay.
Stephen King and his wife stayed in. It was back in
Oh,
1974, and so he
okay.
wrote The
Oh,
Shining, which is one of my favorite books. So.
yeah, it's creepy, though. Whew.
Yeah,
The movie as well.
oh, definitely.
Um,
You wonder why these ghosts are seen
yeah,
in the same locations and stuff. Are they like anchored there in that like specific room or the
right.
stairwell or wherever they keep? And they have like I read that there's like two types of hauntings. There's like let's see, there's like residual hauntings. That's the
Mm.
kind of like a repeat, like you're seeing
Oh,
a
yeah.
like almost like you're seeing a recording, like
Right.
the person says, oh, the ghost goes down the stairway and into the hallway and then back up, then you can,
Yeah.
and it's like they say that that's like a repeated like in energy or something.
Oh, yeah. Like it's been imprinted kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, isn't that weird? I mean, I'd like to find out more about why that happens.
I
It's
know.
called residual hauntings, and then they have the ones that the ghosts that like play around with people, those are
Right.
when they call the ones they call also intelligent hauntings. Of
Oh,
course,
yeah. Yeah.
they can interact and respond, and they make purposeful actions. Uh,
Right. Like most of the ones we've been looking at seem to be that kind, like the pink lady and, interacting with the guests and things.
yeah, yeah, uh, those are probably the more interesting ones.
But yeah, I think I remember seeing one of those haunting shows, and it was in Gettysburg, and they were looking at one of the houses there, and it was definitely like a residual thing because they kept hearing want to say it was like gunshots or something, but it was repeated like every night or every so often. And they were saying how that was, it's almost like a memory had been imprinted on the house or something like that.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely gotta make a trip up there
Yeah.
and do a show from there.
Yeah. Well, I had one more hotel. If you want me to go ahead and
Oh
talk about
yeah,
that.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Okay, and this is also in North Carolina because that's where we're based. This
Hmm.
is in Greensboro. It's called the Biltmore Hotel, but not to be confused with the Biltmore Estate in Asheville. Um, so it's in Greensboro, North Carolina, and it's downtown Greensboro. It's a building that used to be owned by the brothers Caesar and Moses Cone, who were like the big textile industry
Hmm.
sort of gurus. And the Cone name is really famous, especially in the Greensboro area. You've got Cone Health, Cone Mills. You've got all these different businesses they started. But basically, the hotel was offices for them. They bought that area, and later it was used by the post office, and then the second floor was rented out for as apartments. And it wasn't till much later that it was turned into a hotel. And then 1992, new owners bought it, and they renamed it the Biltmore Hotel. And I think it was just to kind of make it more classy. So there
Yeah,
wasn't really a reason behind it, like, oh yeah, Biltmore.
it looks really
Um,
small in the pictures.
yeah, yeah. But basically, there's supposedly two ghosts, or at least two that are reported, of Philip and Lydia. Both were believed to have been murdered, either in the hotel or right outside it.
Hmm.
So I was trying to dig up some information because I thought, well, if we could find out like a real name, like a second name, you'll find out if these are real people. And it turns out Philip was Philip Mullins, who according to this article in myfox8.com, he had was one of the owners of the building, um, but he was found dead outside of the building. Supposedly, it was suicide. He jumped from a third floor window, but there was rumors that he was pushed or murdered, and he had a strange sort of mark around his neck. And
Mm.
some of this rumors were that he'd been strangled with a piano wire. So I don't know.
Oh,
So, and some people were saying, oh, he was also an accountant and he'd find out about some of the Cohn brothers, I guess, tax dealings or something. But again, couldn't find out much more than that. So it's mostly rumors. And then Lydia, again, mostly rumors, couldn't find her last name. She supposedly lived on the second floor, and which this lady had rented out to people. And there were rumors that it was actually a brothel, but so
oh,
Lydia possibly was part of that. But she was also found dead, like at the bottom of the stairs. So someone had kind of pushed her over the banister or something. So they are supposedly still haunt that building. And also there's, I think, a ghost of a small child, a little blonde headed boy that rides up and down the elevator, and nobody knows why he's there. But but it's interesting if you look at their website, it's they have a section that says we have no basically there's no proof that this building is haunted, and we can't guarantee what room you'll stay in or that you'll see a ghost, basically. So they're as much as admitting it, I think, that it's haunted. But but I think it's still open and you can still stay there. Um, so that would be another interesting episode if we could, maybe stay there and just see if any
that would be
encounters
really cool.
happened.
Yeah, that would be really neat.
Yeah. So, um, but those were just a few. I mean, it sounds like hotels are just there's just so many haunted hotels everywhere.
Oh yeah, in the South and the North,
Oh
and
yeah.
like I went up to New York City one time, and they had the Hotel Chelsea. I don't know if
Oh.
you heard about that. That's where like Sid and Nancy, Pistols, they were Sid killed Nancy there. He stabbed her.
Oh. Oh.
That's when
Okay.
have reported, feeling a sense of unease and
Ah.
apparitions, which is really creepy, I think. And some
Yeah.
people think they've seen like a Welsh poet named Dylan Thomas. He used
Oh
to
yeah.
live there. Yeah, I like his poems.
Yeah.
And, they think they've seen him and they smelled his pipe tobacco.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's
wow.
all sorts of, like you said, there's a lot of haunted hotels and um
Yeah. I guess because so many people pass through and all kinds of things are happening to them.
yeah, I
Yeah.
and you wonder why. I guess tragedy anchors most of them, like
Oh,
suicides,
yeah.
murders, and
That's
um,
true.
but I can't understand why, like somebody that had just stayed there would want to come back, but I don't know.
Right. If something bad happened to them, why would they keep returning, kind of thing?
Yeah, yeah. So I do kind of wonder about the residual haunting where
Yeah.
maybe something so bad happened that it made such an imprint there that I don't know.
Right. I wonder
I'll
why
have
it's
to read
like,
up on it.
yeah, why is like nothing good happened leaves an imprint, like, oh,
Yeah,
something great happened there.
yeah,
why
that would be nice.
why is it always something bad?
Exactly.
Well, I guess what do you think we'll talk about in our next episode? Do you have any
I'm not
ideas?
sure that maybe we could keep talking about haunted places, haunted houses, maybe haunted objects,
Oh
um,
yeah, yeah.
furniture. I don't know if you've ever bought any antiques, but sometimes you can buy some uh, antiques that kind of make you feel a little uneasy.
Yeah, that would be interesting. And
Yeah,
then
we
yeah,
could maybe interview somebody about that.
yeah, maybe that John Zappis or even someone more local or
Yeah, yeah, we could interview. Well, of course, it would be great to interview him, but
yeah.
if he's not available, I know. Well, there was a lady I contacted one time for an article about an antique sideboard, and
Yeah.
she was like she worked for one of the history museums in North Carolina, and
Yeah.
she said that she definitely felt some of those furniture pieces were haunted. So
Oh, that would
yeah,
be
to
interesting.
maybe interview her. I'll have to
Yeah.
look up her number.
It does make you think twice if, when you're in the antique mall or something like, oh, do I really want to buy this? What if there's some
Yeah,
sort of, it does make you think.
yeah, exactly. And then it's kind of cool because you're thinking, well, maybe
I
this will
don't
be an
know.
interesting haunting.
I don't know if I want that though. Well,
Uh,
that might be a good thing for our next episode. Like you say, haunted objects, residual haunting, something like that.
yeah, that sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, let's try that for the next time, and then maybe we can round up a paranormal investigator we could interview. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
There's probably a bunch in North Carolina.
yeah, I think so. I think there are a few.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah.
And then if anybody listening to our podcast wants to like send us a recording of like a ghost encounter you've had or any kind of
Hmm.
interaction with the paranormal, it could be UFOs or Bigfoot or
Yeah.
ghosts or whatever's paranormal. If you have a paranormal story, if you could email it to us, like email the audio file. Um, we have an email address. It's justweirdpod at gmail.com. So it's justweirdpod at gmail.com. I couldn't get podcast. Someone else had it.
and we can put some of our links that we used for our research in the show notes if
Oh,
people
that
want to
sounds
look up.
good.
Yeah. So
That sounds good.
okay.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us, and we hope you'll come back next week and listen to our next episode.
Yeah. Just weird.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.